Another day at the property. Hey everybody. So it's been a while since I made a video, mostly because of weather conditions. The last time I made a video, I believe it was still pretty wet out here. Then we went through a extended freeze, which was good. The ground was starting to get firm again, which was great. Had a load of gravel dropped off and came out here to tighten up the tracks on the skid steer because they were starting to get pretty floppy, kind of loose, and discovered that none of the links that I had to bind them together were the right size. Everything was I was either going to have it too loose, which wasn't going to improve my situation, or it was just too tight. I've got a ratchet binder in there that you can attach to these links on the skid steer that pull the whole assembly together, and I was within 1/4 of an inch of using my half twist double clevis to bring everything back together, but it was too much. I didn't want to overdo it. Plus, I need to file down the leading edge of the link that's welded onto the track so that my double clevis can mate with that. It's a little too proud. I'll show you all that here in the second half of this video. Anyway, so since then, it, as you can see, snowed. I think we're all familiar with that. I think we've got about 6 inches out here. And I've run into a challenge with my tent before when it snowed, in that I was spec'd by the buddy I bought this tent from to use 1-inch rebar to go in as my tent stakes, and being cheap as I am, and I was in a rush, I went ahead and only bought 5/8. It's what Menards had. In order to get the 1-inch or the 3/4 inch, it was gonna be something I'd have to chase down and source, and it was expensive. And all I've done is dump money lately, between the home remodel and our youngest daughter getting braces, and then our oldest daughter needing a second root canal. So money's been flying out the door. So I went with the 5/8, and it does fine, except when it snows. And when it snows, there's some fallow areas in our tent here that collect the snow, and it's just too much weight, and it pulls those right up out of the ground. So it was a known issue, and I'd been thinking what I need to do is treat each of my corners as I've done with my ratchet strap up into the trees, because those trees aren't going anywhere. So as you saw in the earlier part of this video, I used the winch on the Jeep to go up around this tree and pull this corner up into place, and I've got it now attached to this sapling over here that will do the job. And so now the tent has got tree stakes, if you will, in each corner, and I think we should be in good shape. So one thing I have to do when I come out here when it snows is you got to go in the tent, and I use this big landscape rake to push up from underneath this big boy, to push up from underneath, and it drops all the snow up from the outside. So that's my upper body workout for today. So this is a good improvement. It's something that needed to be done. And next thing I'm going to do is jump in to see if these modified half-turn clevises that I fabricated that are 3/4 of an inch longer than the one that came with the tracks will do the job. So we'll be back. There's the 3:30 train. So this is another issue that was going on, is I need to use my right angle grinder to cut the chain links on the skid steer tracks in order to get off the extra links and bring the tracks closer together so that there's less slippage in the wheels inside of the tracks. And that's great when your generator is producing electricity. Well, last time I was out here, and this was part of the problem I forgot to mention earlier, is I started up the generator. Always starts on the second pole, which is amazing. It's a Tecumseh engine, 4-stroke engine. And always starts, no problem. Plugged in my angle grinder and no power. And they say that what you can do is you bring out an old style drill like this. Some people have never even seen these because everything we use now is rechargeable. But anyway, these are small generators, basically, because there's a coil pack in here. And what you do is start your generator, plug this in, put it in reverse, and then twist your chuck forward. And I did it a couple times today and wasn't getting anything, but there's a little LED light, little console light on here. I could see it was just barely throwing out some light. And then first I thought it was just a reflection, but I put my hand over it and it was throwing out some light. So then I started doing this a little more vigorously, and I could see that it, with each turn, each revolution, it surged a little bit. And then I did it a couple more times, and sure enough, man, just like they say, this will take off in your hand, and then that light went full blast. So that's a good thing to know. And anyway, they say if you run into that problem with one of these, try that out, because if you take it into a dealer or a repair shop, most likely that's all they'll do. Then they'll charge you $125. So there you go. It actually works. Good old YouTube. Okay, so here we have our tensioned track that we just worked on today. What you've got here is a half-turn link, and on the back side I just got a straight flat link. That was the best fit up. And as you can see, that's pretty good.